let's start with this Apple Google deal. Do
Yeah.
you have any initial thoughts, or you want me to go?
Well, actually, I want to hear your thoughts before I share my thoughts. So why don't you go first?
Okay, yeah, because I have a lot of opinions on this. So Apple already has a deal with Google for Google to be the primary search on Apple devices. And that makes a lot of sense because Google is like the number one player in search by far. It is what people expect when they do a search. For Apple to partner with Google on this is a little weird to me because they are such a direct competitor. Like, I would have
Yes.
expected them to do a partnership with Claude or OpenAI, which already have a relationship with for the current iteration of Siri. So it's a little puzzling to me why they picked Google. I don't know if it was like the best deal financially or if it was the best product. Fun side note, by the way, I don't know if you saw this, but this has been going viral. If you ask ChatGPT how many R's are in the word strawberry, it
I
says
did see that.
2. But if you
I
type it, it says 3.
Yeah, it's funny because when I did see that going viral, I tested it out, and it actually told me correctly 3.
Oh,
Um,
really? Oh, I tested it a couple days ago and I tested it before this just to make sure it was still accurate or not accurate. And
yeah.
yeah, it was still saying 2
It
for
was
me.
oh, that's interesting. Maybe I was doing grok, and now that I think about it. But in any case, then I asked it to go ahead and spell it out for me. And when it spelt it out, when it got to W, it said double R, or like it had this sort of weird, like it spelt it correctly. I could see the text, but it was reading it incorrectly, which was kind of
Incorrectly?
interesting. But going back to Apple and this whole Google Gemini partnership, I mean, this has got to be one of those things that has got Steve Jobs turning in his grave, because
Absolutely.
this is one of the most important initiatives in the history of computing, AI, and Apple should be in the forefront because the device that everyone is using to communicate with their AI is primarily in the United States anyway, an iPhone. And Apple to sort of hand this over to someone else is just mind blowing. And then for them to hand it over to a direct competitor that is the head of Android, their direct competitor for iPhone, is even more mind blowing. So it should be the order of precedence for Apple should be no, we got to do this ourselves. A, but B, if we're going to partner with somebody, it cannot be Google. It can be ChatGPT, it can be, Anthropic or whoever else, but it cannot be Google. Um, and then, the reality is that they should have been buying somebody. They have the money to do it. I don't
Right.
understand why they haven't done it. Um,
Which is how they acquired Siri. It was someone else's technology and they
that's
bought it.
right. That's right. So this is just quite puzzling to me. This just speaks to the uh, to the fact that
Cook.
Cook does not belong as the CEO of Apple, and um, I think his days are numbered. This is a major blunder. I don't see how this is good for Apple. Now, it's good for Apple users because they're going to get AI integrated similarly to Siri into their devices, and um, but it's great for Google. it's
Yeah.
it's way
Here,
better for Google than it is for Apple.
here's the other problem I have with it is if Apple's long-term strategy is to eventually build an AI model in-house, now the bar is it has to be better than Gemini, which is a
That's
lot
right.
harder than
That's right.
them just trying to iterate on Siri, which is what I think they should be doing, even if it's slower for them. Because
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of Apple users are going to stick with the iPhone regardless of if Android phones have Gemini or not.
Right.
Plus, if you really want access to Gemini, you can download the app on your phone and it does
Right.
most of the same stuff.
Right.
So
But you
I think
you
it was a
need
bad
that
deal.
tight integration with the apps that are running on the app on the
Yes.
phone, and without that tight integration, um, it's kind of pointless. You could, just like you said, you could use a separate app to run Gemini or whatever AI you want. So if you have the tight integration and if you're gonna hand that tight integration off to your major competitor, you're just basically opening all the doors uh, to it's a Pandora's box. I don't see how this is a good thing for Apple. Um,
Totally.
yeah, I would not be excited about this. If I was an Apple shareholder, I would like. I mean, that's Tim Cook is the main reason I'm not an Apple shareholder, despite loving the company, loving the products. But this company hasn't been able to innovate, hasn't been able to price new products correctly. It's just focused on the wrong things. It's missed major opportunities in the market. It spent $12 billion on a self-driving car project that it just abandoned. I mean, just so many different mistakes. It's like mistake after mistake after mistake. It's a good thing that Steve Jobs set them up with a few different great product lines that they haven't screwed up, and that's the reason that Apple is where it is.